Pablo had always hated the sound of a school bell. To him, school was a prison, a place where dreams went to die. While his mates carried backpacks and notebooks, Pablo roamed the streets of Lagos, searching for quick money. His handsome face and sweet tongue could melt any heart, and he used them well. But behind his charm was a lazy soul who could neither learn trade nor pick up a skill. He believed only fools waited years to succeed. Pablo wanted to be rich now, rich enough to buy respect, crush his enemies, and make women kneel at his feet. His mother, a petty trader, tried all she could to change him. His father, a retired soldier, used belt and cane until his strength failed. But Pablo was a rock, unyielding. His favorite phrase was, "You don't hustle with sweat, you hustle with sense." Every day, he hung out at internet cafes and lounges, watching Yahoo boys live their flashy lives. When one of them, Kelvin, rode in with a Benz and tossed bundles of cash in the air, Pablo knew he had found his shortcut. One evening, after begging Kelvin for days, Pablo was finally invited to join the Yahoo game. Kelvin laughed and said, "If your mind's strong, come." Pablo swore he was ready to do anything, to become rich. He wanted to silence his mockers, show his parents that books and morals were for losers, and rise so high that the world would bow at his feet. But Pablo didn't know that the path he chose had no brakes. Once you entered the tunnel, the only light was behind you. Pablo's heart pounded with excitement as he stepped into the world of Yahoo. Kelvin, his guide into this forbidden life, introduced him to the basics: Facebook romance scams, fake investment schemes, and emotional manipulation. Pablo picked up fast. He was clever with words and knew how to read people. In just 2 weeks, he crafted online love letters that made lonely widows send money from across the ocean. He laughed at their stupidity. "Nah, who dey find love online deserve breakfast," he'd say. The first alert that entered his account was 450,000 nairas. Pablo stared at the screen, numb with disbelief. His hands trembled as the bank app confirmed the balance. That moment changed everything. He bought new sneakers, a flashy shirt, and posted a video dancing on Instagram with the caption, "Money sweet, poverty not disease." The likes poured in, and the girls started noticing him. Suddenly, Pablo mattered. But it wasn't enough. He saw Kelvin returning with new phones every weekend, changing women like bedsheets, and planning trips to Dubai. Pablo wanted more, faster. He grew restless with the wait. The money from Yahoo wasn't coming as quickly as he dreamed. He wanted Benz, not sneakers. He wanted to rent out VIP sections in clubs and pour drinks for strangers just to show he could. But Kelvin warned him, "This your hunger go carry you go where your soul no ready." Then came the whisper. A shadowy figure in Kelvin's circle, a man named Don Chris, started hanging around. He wore long red beads, spoke slowly, and never smiled. One night at a club, he leaned over to Pablo and said, "If you want real wealth, I can show you. But remember, every door you open comes with a price." Pablo didn't blink. "I'm ready. Show me." And just like that, he crossed a line he could never return from. The night was unusually cold when Pablo followed Don Chris to an isolated compound on the outskirts of town. The air was thick with silence and secrets. Tall trees lined the path like silent guards, and the moonlight barely touched the ground. As they walked deeper into the compound, Pablo felt a strange pressure in his chest, but pride kept his feet moving. He reminded himself. Fear is for poor people. I came for money. Don Chris led him into a dimly lit room where 7 other young men sat in a circle, each with a red cloth tied around their waist. Their eyes were blank, like they had seen things the world wasn't ready for. A strange language echoed from a corner, chants that sent chills down Pablo's spine. In the center of the room was a wooden stool covered with black goatskin and feathers. On it sat an old clay pot filled with what looked like thick, black blood. "This is the beginning," Don Chris said, his voice deep and slow. "You have chosen the ancient path. Here, we don't ask what you're willing to give. We tell you what will be taken." Pablo swallowed hard but nodded. He was determined. Whatever the price, he believed he could bear it. One of the elders stepped forward, eyes glowing unnaturally, and asked, "Do you wish for quick wealth and endless pleasure, even at the cost of your soul?" Without hesitation, Pablo answered, "Yes." Then the task was given. Pablo must choose a lifetime rule, a personal sacrifice he would obey without fail. No sleep at night, no touching the earth barefoot, no blood from injury, or no mirror gazing after midnight. The more difficult the task, the greater the reward. Pablo thought for a moment. "No sleep at night," he said, laughing. "That one is simple. I'll party my nights away." The room fell quiet. Don Chris stared at him and said, "You've made your choice. From tonight, the spirit of slumber will hunger for you. If you ever sleep at night, your soul will pay." Pablo grinned, unaware that he had just made the most dangerous decision of his life. From the moment Pablo left that compound, his life transformed like magic. The very next day, he received 2.5 million nairas from a single Yahoo transaction. 2 more followed before the week ended. Suddenly, he became the king of his street. Pablo rented a short-lit apartment in Lekki, bought an iPhone 14 Pro Max, wore designer clothes, and changed his Instagram bio to Don Pablo. No sleep, just money. But his new rule had already begun. No sleeping at night. The first few nights were easy. He was high on excitement. He jumped from one club to another, popping bottles, making it rain, and surrounding himself with the finest girls money could buy. He called himself the Night Boss, and even tattooed an owl on his chest, saying it symbolized wisdom and wakefulness. Every night, he was out, dancing like the ground owed him an apology. Yet, something began to shift. By the 4th week, his eyes started burning during the day. His body grew weaker, but his wallet fatter. He tried taking short naps in the afternoons, but they never truly refreshed him. His mind started playing tricks. He'd see shadows move when nothing was there. He laughed it off, calling it the price of big money. One night at a club in Victoria Island, while dancing with 2 girls, Pablo suddenly froze. The lights became too bright, the music slowed, and every voice sounded like it came from underwater. A cold breeze blew through the packed club, but nobody else felt it. Then, in the middle of his laughter, he heard a voice behind him, soft and chilling. "Why are you still awake, Pablo?" He turned sharply. No one was there. He shook it off, blamed it on too much champagne, and continued dancing. But deep inside, a seed of fear had been planted. The spirit of slumber was watching, and it was patient. And Pablo was only just beginning to lose his grip. Pablo believed he was untouchable. Money made him bold, and the attention from women made him arrogant. Every night, His phone buzzed with calls from ladies begging for a piece of his time. Some wanted money, others wanted fame, but many just wanted to be seen with Don Pablo, the night boss. He loved the power he had over them. It fed his ego, soothed the emptiness growing inside him. Then came Sasha. He met her at an exclusive rooftop party in Ikoyi. She wasn't like the others. She didn't chase him. She didn't giggle or pretend. Her beauty was sharp, like a knife hidden in silk. Tall, fair-skinned, with eyes that seemed to look through him. Sasha caught Pablo's attention the moment she walked past without greeting him. That night, he forgot about every other girl. He hunted her down like prey, determined to have her. She made him work for it. No matter how much he flaunted his cash or fame, Sasha only smiled politely. "I don't fall for noise," she said once. That made Pablo chase harder. Eventually, she agreed to dinner. One date became 2, then 4. Soon, Sasha was always in his car, always at his side. People started calling her Madame Dawn. Pablo didn't mind, he liked the sound of it. But Sasha had secrets. At night, when Pablo dragged her to clubs, she sometimes disappeared for minutes without a trace. She asked strange questions, like if he ever dreamt while awake, or if shadows whispered his name. He laughed them off, thinking she was just weird. But her presence brought something different into his life. For a moment, he forgot about the sleepless curse. He began to feel calm. One evening, as they watched the sunset from his balcony, Sasha leaned close and whispered, "You should stop fighting the night. Rest. Just one night." Pablo jerked back. "No," he barked. "You don't understand. If I sleep, I die." Sasha looked at him, her expression unreadable. "Or maybe you wake up." He didn't know it then, but Sasha wasn't just another girl. She was sent to test the strength of his vow. And slowly, she was pulling him closer to the edge. Pablo's lavish nights started turning into haunted evenings. He would be at a party, surrounded by friends and strangers alike, yet feel completely alone. The girls danced, the drinks flowed, the music blasted, but his soul was slipping away. He began seeing flashes of people who weren't there. Faces would morph mid-conversation. His ears rang with whispers that only he could hear. His nights, once filled with pleasure, now felt like a dark maze. Sasha noticed it first. She saw the way Pablo would stare blankly into space, or jump at shadows. "You need help," she said softly one night. But Pablo snapped. "Don't ever say that again." His pride was too fat to accept weakness. Instead, he increased the noise around him. More clubs, more girls, louder music. But no matter how loud the world became, the silence inside him only grew heavier. On the 7th Friday since his vow, Pablo collapsed in the club. It wasn't a faint, it was more like a seizure. His body shook uncontrollably, his eyes rolled back, and his mouth foamed slightly. Bouncers rushed in, carried him out, and within minutes, he was in a private hospital. But by morning, he was already up, smiling like nothing happened. "Just small stress," he told his worried followers. But that night, alone in his apartment, he saw her. A tall woman draped in white, with skin as pale as moonlight and eyes as black as coal, stood at the foot of his bed. She didn't speak, she just stared, and Pablo couldn't move. His tongue stuck to the roof of his mouth. His body was frozen. All he could hear was a hum, a lullaby that seemed to pull him under. Then, just before he closed his eyes, she whispered, "You're getting tired," and disappeared. Desperate to silence the voice and shake off the woman in white, Pablo returned to Don Chris. "I need more power," he said. Don Chris didn't flinch. "The spirits want something. You're becoming weak. Feed them." Pablo nodded. "I'll give them whatever they want." That night, he called Jessica, one of the girls who had been hovering around him for weeks. Sweet, innocent, naive. He took her to a beach house under the pretense of a romantic getaway. But when the moon was high, he followed the steps Don Chris gave him. A chant, a cut on her skin, and a ritual bath in her blood. Jessica never came back. The next morning, Pablo received an alert of 10 million nairas. The fear he had felt the night before melted into joy. He laughed while counting the notes. "This is the life," he said. But Sasha didn't pick his calls that day. Nor the next. Sasha finally returned on the third day, but her eyes were different. Cold, distant. She didn't sit when she entered Pablo's apartment. "You killed her," she said. Pablo froze. "Who? You know who. You think wealth is worth this? You think you're still human?" Pablo stood up angrily. "Don't judge me. You don't know what I've seen." Sasha moved closer. "I know what's coming. You can't keep this up. The spirit is hungry, and one day, it won't want a girl. It'll want you." She left before he could reply. That night, Pablo didn't party. He sat in silence, holding a glass of Hennessy and watching the moon rise. For the first time since the ritual, he felt cold from the inside out. They came in a dream, though Pablo never truly slept. 4 owls sat on the windowsill, staring at him with glowing red eyes. Then one spoke in a human voice. "Rest, and you are ours." He jumped up screaming. He knocked over furniture, broke a mirror, and called Don Chris. "I'm losing my mind," he shouted. Don Chris only said one thing. "Then don't sleep." Pablo stopped attending parties. He turned his apartment into a mini club, lights, music, everything. He invited girls in just to stay awake. He began using pills, coffee, coke, energy drinks, anything to fight the urge. But the owls returned every night. It was a quiet Tuesday. No power. His generator had failed. The girls he called didn't show up. His phone was off. The apartment was hot, silent, and dark. Pablo lit candles and tried playing music on a Bluetooth speaker, but it died too. Then came the hum, soft, gentle, like a mother rocking a child to sleep. He fought, punched himself, drank hot water, but his eyes closed. He slept. When Pablo opened his eyes, he was no longer in his room. He was in a forest. Trees bled. Rivers were black. The ground beneath him felt like wet skin. He turned around and saw a crowd, dozens of pale-faced people. They had no eyes, only deep holes where tears should have been. At the front stood the woman in white. "You broke the vow," she said. "Now you belong here." Pablo ran. But the forest didn't end. The faces followed him, whispering, crying, wailing. He woke up screaming, back in his bed. But his sheets were soaked. Not in sweat, in blood. His palms were stained. From that night, Pablo became paranoid. He boarded up windows, avoided mirrors, and refused to be left alone. His skin became pale, his eyes bloodshot. No one recognized him anymore. Even the girls who once worshipped him now whispered behind his back. "Don Pablo donde mad," they said. Sasha visited one last time. "You're dying," she said. I'm rich, he barked. You're empty. She walked away. And this time, he didn't try to stop her. Pablo returned to Don Chris, more desperate than ever. There has to be another ritual. Something stronger. Don Chris shook his head. You already broke the vow. The spirits want your soul now. Pablo slammed his fist. There has to be a way. Chris stared at him for a long time. There's one thing. But it's forbidden. Pablo leaned forward. I'll do anything. Chris lit a black candle. You must offer your reflection. Destroy every mirror. Deny yourself. Then maybe, just maybe, they'll spare your body. Pablo smashed every mirror in his house. Bathroom, closet, even his car rear view. He wore sunglasses day and night, afraid to see even his shadow. For a while, the whispers stopped. He even slept for a few seconds at a time without waking up in terror. But then, his reflection returned, in puddles, windows, phone screens. And it wasn't normal. His reflection would smirk when he frowned, wink when he blinked. He screamed, tearing through his house, falling to his knees. I give up. Take it all. But the spirits wanted only one thing, rest. And rest meant death. Desperate, Pablo sought a prophet. A man in Aba known for casting out dark spirits. The man refused to see him at first. But after Pablo dumped a bag of cash on his table, he agreed. The damage is deep, the prophet said. But we can try. They started a 7-day prayer and dry fasting. Pablo went through hell, vomiting black bile, hearing screams in his ears, even levitating during night vigils. But by the 6th night, the prophet collapsed. You carry death inside you, he gasped. Only you can defeat it. Sasha returned one rainy evening. She looked tired but peaceful. I came to help, she said. But you must choose. Greed or peace. Pablo broke down. I didn't want to die poor. I didn't want to be mocked. Sasha knelt beside him. You wanted power, not purpose. If you want to live, you must lose everything. She placed a small black stone in his palm. Crush this, and the spirits will come for one final bargain. He crushed it. That night, the woman in white appeared again. You want out? She asked. Yes. Then sleep for 7 days straight. No food, no water. If you wake, you die. Pablo nodded. He lay on the floor. Sasha beside him. She prayed, while he shut his eyes, entering the darkness one last time. Pablo dreamt of every life he destroyed. Jessica screamed. Don Chris burned. His reflection laughed endlessly. Every time he tried to rise, fire consumed him. But each time Sasha's voice echoed, hold on. On the 7th night, he saw a light. The woman in white stepped aside. You chose pain. You chose growth. Go. Pablo woke up to birds chirping. Sunlight on his face. Sasha asleep beside him. He was free. He gave out his cars, emptied his account to orphanages, and disappeared from Lagos. People said he went mad. Others said he died. But one day, in a quiet town, a humble school was built by a man named Paul, once called Pablo. Years later, Paul sat under a mango tree with children. Sasha approached, older but radiant. Why did you help me? He asked. He smiled. Because I once made the same vow. I broke it, and someone helped me too. They laughed together. Redemption had come full circle. When Paul died at 82, he smiled in his sleep. He dreamt of rivers that flowed gold, trees that healed, and spirits that sang. And the woman in white? She bowed gently. You finally rested, right?
Subscribe now and join the Firelight Tale family. Turn on notifications, because each story is an ember waiting to spark your imagination.